Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Ask an Expert session. Today's topic is going to be the daily timesheet management. However, before we get started, I would like to just open the lines to all our attendees. If you have any general questions on specific topics that you would like for us to address today, please either raise your hand so that we can unmute you or drop your questions in our question inbox. Now, for those of you who have just signed in, please make sure if you have a question, you will be required to, when you dialed in, to enter your audio PIN number. Otherwise, when you raise your hands, I will not be able to unmute you. All right, so let's see if we have any questions. So far, I am not seeing any questions nor any hands raised. So what I'm going to do to give everyone an opportunity to formulate any questions, we're going to go ahead and proceed with the topic for today, and that is the daily timesheet management. So we're going to go through what that's all about and how it can assist not only the administrator, but also the supervisors. We're going to show you how to set it up and configure it. Now, if you're still not comfortable with the configuration, you can always call our support team and then they will be able to walk you through the setup as well. After we go through the setup, we're going to do a live demonstration, open it up for a Q&A, and then I also want to point out some online resources and how to access our Nova Time channel. I also want everyone to know that we are having virtual engage sessions this month. So later on today, we have some webinars and also next week. So I will highlight those as well. All right. So what is the daily timesheet management? So this feature allows supervisors an opportunity to better manage their employees. How does that do that? Well, instead of you going through the exceptions at the top of the page, maybe you're able to see 3 exceptions here, and then you have to open each timesheet individually. What this feature does is it allows you to address all the exceptions per a specific day. So you're able to see, if you have 10 employees, you're able to see their hours by day. So let's start with Monday. You would be able to see, all right, on Monday, I don't have any missing punches. Everything looks good. Go to Tuesday and then address all those timesheets right then and there. Instead of opening each timesheet individually, you can see everything in one screen. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here shortly. So you're able to manage the in and out punches. And this feature is especially helpful for those supervisors who, for example, they have 10 employees who maybe they're going to be working at a different location, they're going to be working off-site, and they're all going to have the same start time, they're all going to have the same end time, and so you would like to record the same hours for those employees, you can do that. Also, if let's say we have an employee named Carol, she works from 8 to 5, and then we have another employee named Juliet. She worked the same schedule, but she forgot to clock in and out. Same hours, you can actually copy one employee's hours and paste it onto another employee. So I'm going to show you here shortly how that's going to happen. So before we dive into the system, I'm going to show you where in the system these features are going to be enabled. So it's going to be under, if you're a system administrator, you would need to go under the company setup, system setup, timesheets, miscellaneous. And you do need to disable your legacy timesheets and enable the SPA timesheet in order for this feature to work. All right, so that's going to be step number 1. Step number 2 is this feature is available by access groups. So if you have multiple groups of supervisors and maybe you want a group of supervisors to use this and another group not to use it, you can enable it that way as well. So once you've enabled the company setup, you will need to go under the access category, page menu, and enable that specific gadget. And then the last piece is give yourself or that access group full access and make sure that you log out from the system and log back in. So let's log into the system and do that process together. So this is the database, and here's your company setup. We're going to go to your system setup, and then we're going to go to the miscellaneous page. Now in the miscellaneous page, we're going to go under, we're going to go under timesheets, and then we're going to go into miscellaneous. And on here, this is what I was talking about, that you would need to disable your legacy timesheets and move into the SPA timesheet. So the nice thing about the SPA timesheets is that it gives you an opportunity to use the wildcard for searching for employees. It allows the page, instead of right now, if you're on a legacy timesheet, any edits that you make to one timesheet, it requires everyone, if you have 20 employees, all their timesheets are refreshed, and it just takes longer to save. Whereas in the SPA timesheet, it only impacts if you're only making changes to one specific timesheet, only that is updated, only that's saved, and it doesn't take forever for that timesheet to load. So there is if you go under online help, there is an article that gives you an overview as to all the specs that the SPA timesheet has to offer. So if you're interested in that, just go to the right-hand side of the screen, and that's where you can get your online help, and just search for SPA timesheet. Okay, all right, so this is going to be step number one. We want to turn off that legacy timesheet. So once you've done that, we're going to go to the Access category. Then we're going to go to Page menu. And on here, you're going to see all the access groups available for your organization. So let's say that we want the administrator to have access to that, then we're going to go to the attendance, and we're going to go all the way to the right, and we're going to place a check mark under Daily Timesheet Management. So that's step number two. So now we've given ourselves access to that group, and you can also give it to a supervisor as well, and all you would have to do is repeat the same steps. So that's step number two. Step number three is page access. All right, I've given myself access to this page. Now I need to give myself full access to it. So here's my attendance daily timesheet management, and I'm going to make sure it says full access. Okay, and those are the two things that you have to do. Then you need to log out of the system, refresh the system, and log back in. All right, so in order for you to see how that daily timesheet management works, we're going to go under attendance, and we're going to go into your timesheets. Oh, and someone asked if I was saying SPA timesheets, and yes, that is correct. And SPA stands for single page apps. All right, so here's my timesheet. So this is what my timesheet looks like. And you'll notice that by default, this is how your timesheet is going to display. If you need to see employees who have any exceptions, missing punches, then you can change your filters this way. And you can go down the list, addressing this timesheet, addressing that timesheet, addressing that timesheet, and so forth. Let me change my filters to all here. However, with the daily timesheet management, what you can do is once you've enabled that feature, at the top of the page, you're going to see this little button on here. If you click on this little button, then it's going to allow you to enable the toggle feature. You're now going to be able to see the daily timesheet management. So as you can see, we were looking at Marcus's timesheet, and it's the entire timesheet for the entire pay period. But with the daily timesheet management, now what I'm going to see is per day, and I'm going to see all the employees that report to me. So that's how it changes. The other thing that I like about the daily timesheet management is there's this arrow here to the right of the date, the up and down arrow. I'm going to click on it, And the nice thing about this is that it allows you as a supervisor or an administrator to see that on Sunday I have 4 time records. On Monday I have 6, and then on Tuesday I have 6, and so forth. So you're able to see how many time records there are. So let me click on Sunday, and you're able to see that I only have 4 time records. The nice thing about this, it allows you to look at all those timesheets all at once, address Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that way by the time the pay period ends, you don't have any exceptions. The pay period has ended. All you have to do is review it one last time and submit it, right? So now how or what are the benefits to a manager by using this daily timesheet management? So let's proceed and let me show you how you can copy one employee's hours to another employee. So let's look at this timesheet or this time for Sunday. So let's say that for Sunday we had Marcus, he worked from 10 to 3 p.m. And let's say that all these other employees also work that same shift. Normally you would have to go to that individual employee, open that timesheet, address it, then open another timesheet and address it. But here with daily timesheet management, what it does is I'm going to copy this employee's hours. So I'm going to click on this clipboard next to Marcus. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a check mark under Ashley. I'm going to put a check mark under Sherry, under Scarlett, and we're going to give Johnny those hours as well. So that's the second step. The third step is under more functions. Now I need to paste the selected hours. So as you can see, Marcus is the one that clocked in. These employees had not clocked in. However, they worked the same amount of time. And so it has added it. I can save it. And now your entries have successfully been made. And so now initially we only had 4 entries. Now we have 8 entries. Let's go to another day here. And on here, same thing as a timesheet, except you're able to see all your employees' exceptions for that specific date, which is September the 7th. So here's my employee, Ashley. She worked from 8 to 12, 1 to 5 p.m. Then I have my employee, Sherry, again. She worked from 8 o'clock and forgot to clock out. So you can simply, if it's the one-off entries, you can enter it on here. If you already have your auto meal deduction, then maybe you just need to enter the hours for the end of day. Then you can just enter those hours in there. And so on here it says she was early out 60 minutes. So depending on the shift that the employee is assigned to, you're going to see those exceptions. But again, here, sorry, let's see, we're going to say 1 p.m. Save it. So addressing daily timesheets or daily, I think it's very helpful for supervisors. The other thing that you can do is, as I mentioned earlier, if you're a supervisor who has employees that are going to be working the same shift, they're going to all be going off-site. What you can do is, all right, you know what, I'm going to clock these employees in because maybe there's no time clock at that location, or maybe we need to get everybody to start really fast and we don't have time for everybody to clock in. What you can do is I'm going to add the hours here. I'm going to say that this employee worked 8 to 5 p.m. Save it. And that's the only transaction that I'm going to do. And that copy feature that we used earlier, we're going to click. Let me clear my clipboard. Give me 1 second here. All right, so we're going to click on that clipboard. I'm going to copy Ashley's hours, and then I'm going to, all right, I'm going to select there, and then I'm going to click here and paste, save. And that's how easy it is for you to clock your employees in and out throughout the day or throughout the period. So now you have successfully created those entries. So at any time you can turn this off by clicking on that button, and now you're back to looking at all your timesheets and there are all your exceptions. So daily timesheet toggle enables that. And also this little arrows here show daily count, allows you to see what's going on for that specific period. This one is for a week. If you're bi-weekly, then you would see your bi-weekly period across the top of the page here. Okay. All right, so that's your daily timesheet management. So it's helpful for those supervisors who have employees that normally work the same shift. It's easier for you to address those exceptions. So let me do another example here. So here we have, let's see, Ashley again. All these employees, maybe these employees may start at 8 o'clock, but they all ended or had a later shift. So, and they all forgot to clock in. Give me 1 second here. I needed to click on the clipboard and then these employees here. Save it. So we can do that. However, let's say that for this employee, Scarlett, she worked from 8 to 12 and her meal break was until 12:30. What you can do here is for Ashley, let me see, for Scarlett, we can say work days and we can say 12:30 p.m. So if your employees are required to clock in and out during lunch, you can still add those meal times here. So here's 8 to 12, 12:30, and let's say that she clocked out at, maybe she had a long day that day, 12 or 7 p.m. That's how easy it is for you to also add additional records for employees. So that's going to be your daily timesheet management. Also, if you click on the right-hand side of the screen, here's your online help. And this is where you can search for the daily timesheet. And you will get a document on here that gives you an overview of what you've just seen, which is the daily timesheet management. There is a document that walks you through the process as well. So if you needed additional resources, download the PowerPoint slides. And there's also this document that lives under online help. All right, so that's the topic that we had for today. We just wanted to highlight this particular feature. I know that there are not a lot of managers or admins that are using it, but I think that it, especially for organizations that have lots of employees, it's easier for you to manage your employees. All right, so let me look at my question inbox to see if there are any other questions that have come in. And if not, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give you some tips and tricks for you as a user, things that might be able to make your experience in the system better. All right, so let's see. And then also I wanna make sure I leave some time to highlight our upcoming webinars that I think will be beneficial for admins and supervisors. So, all right, I'm not seeing anything in the question inbox. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is we're gonna leave the daily timesheet management and we're gonna go into the InOut Board. So where does the InOut Board live? It lives under attendance. And here's your InOut Board. So if you are using the InOut Board and you wanted to reorganize the way that this displays, well, there is a way for you to display and get rid of columns or change the order of the columns that appear on this page. Where is that updated? That's going to be updated under Company Setup. We're going to go to System Setup. But this time we're going to go under Miscellaneous. All right, so under Miscellaneous, you're going to see the InOut Board. So this allows you to set up the auto refresh rule by default. So mine is set up to refresh every 5 minutes. So that happens behind the scenes. The other thing that you can do is here's your InOut Board columns. I'm going to, let me close this out. Let me duplicate my tab. So here's my InOut Board. And let's say that I want IDs to be the first thing that appears on here. So here's the setup area. And so I'm going to change ID. I'm going to select ID and I'm going to move it to the top. And so now it's ID, last name, first name, status, and maybe I don't need to see state. I just need to see location. And maybe I don't even need to see time zone. I can get rid of it. So anything that's on the selected side, that's what's going to display. So if that's all that you need, all you have to do is save it. And I'm going to go to this page and I'm just going to refresh that page really quick. And we're going to go to attendance in InOut Board. And so now you're able to see that I have my employee ID, last name, first name. I got rid of time zones, I got rid of state, and this is the only information that displays. So that is configured. Here's the path, company setup, system setup. We went to miscellaneous, and there's your in and out board, and that's where that is configured. All right. Another thing that I wanted to show you is your dashboard. How do you configure the exceptions that appear on here? I personally like to have the exceptions that appear on here, the ones that require attention. I want to have those first. So I have absent, missed punch, no meals, overtime. You may have other exceptions that maybe you don't want to see. So how do you change the order of what appears and how do you get rid or hide the other gadgets? It's going to live in that same section. So this time, however, company setup, system setup, miscellaneous, but we're going to go under your, let me see, hold on, let's see, your exceptions, hold on, because I'm trying to make a global change. Actually, you know what? We're going to do it this way. We're going to go to preferences. We're going to go to preferences. So this one is going to be a change on your dashboard, and I'll show you here shortly how to make a global change. So we went under preferences and preferences. And here's your exceptions. So maybe your administrator has given you access to all the possible gadgets and you're like, you know what, I only need to see a few. Here's your exceptions under section 6. And you can grab the ones that you don't need and leave the ones that you do need. Maybe you're not concerned about who's early in and who's early out, but maybe who's tardy. So save it. And so now when I go back to my dashboard, there's tardy as well. So that lives under your preferences, and then here's your exceptions. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to show you, just in case you're using the template schedules, this audit button. So this allows you to see who has made any updates, who has made any corrections to anyone's schedule. If right now you are currently not seeing that, in order for you to enable it, as long as you're a system administrator, you're going to go back to system setup. We're going to go to miscellaneous. But this time we're going to go to schedule. And right here, you need to place a check mark to enable schedule audit trail. Now, if that was not enabled before and it's enabled now, going forward, the system is going to keep the audit trail of any changes going forward after you've made that update. In the past, there is no record, but going forward, it's going to have that. And that's just to give you under your scheduler template is going to give you that audit button. All right, and here's just for fun. If you've always wanted to be able to change the colors on your dashboard, however, you know, you're often in the system and you just want to change it to something that's more friendly, save it. I can change that. I can also add a secondary color on here. I'm just picking random colors. And so now this is how it displays if you want to reset it. Then it'll change it back to the default colors. But how do you go about changing those colors? So we're going to go under company setup again, and we're going to go to system setup. We're going to go under miscellaneous, and then we're going to go to your preferences. And on here, it allows you as a user to define your theme colors. So that one was just for fun. If you're always in the system and you have a favorite color and you want to customize it by doing this, then it allows you to customize your personal dashboard. All right. Okay, so now those are just some of the things that I wanted to share with you today, just to highlight a few things that might help you in your day-to-day process. The next thing that I wanted to highlight is, before you go, is our online help. So online help has, under chapter 5, you're gonna find the latest videos on different processes. Chapter 8 is what has upcoming webinars, but there's another thing that lives under chapter 8 that I wanna highlight. So we're gonna go to online help. All right, so here's your online help. And we're gonna go, so here's your chapter 5. There's a section here, what's new. So these are just new documents on the Nova Time NC 7000, the FMLA guides. Here's the InOut Board, how to use that if you're currently not using it. Here's an 8-minute report generator overview. You'll notice that there's a PDF document that is attached. So there are some items that are on here that are recently posted. You'll also notice that we have categories for administrators, supervisors, employees. And then here's chapter 8. So this is the upcoming webinars. And on here, it says click here. This will take you to our Nova Time channel. I'm going to click there. And on here, depending on what you're looking for, you'll be able to see, for example, here's a CarePoint video and everything about the NT 8000, FMLA. There's an introductory video. There's a technical training as well. We have some basic training for those of you who are new supervisors or new admins, just to get a feel of the system. Some of them are short little videos and some are longer. So you'll have those resources there. Another thing that I want to point out is that because we weren't able to meet in New Orleans this year, we're having a virtual conference. And so these are the upcoming webinars that we have coming up. So if you download the handout that I provided today, you will notice that there are hyperlinks for you to register. So today we have at 10 a.m. we have a time to pay webinar. So that's just going to be going through the payroll file creation. We're going to start with payroll, what things you need to make sure are in the system, any updates that need to be done before they come into Timekeeper. We're going to go through the Timekeeper process of generating that payroll file. So we're going to send that payroll file and export it over to a census payroll. And so it's going to give you a full overview of the payroll process. We also have another webinar that's going to talk about leave management and your FMLA. So if you're using FMLA or you're interested in that, then this would be a great opportunity for you to sign up. And then we also have automation to make you a more effective manager. So we're going to be showing you how within our system, we have a notifications gadget where instead of you, every Monday, timesheets are due at 10 a.m., for example. The system can go through all the timesheets, identify who has not approved timesheets, and send out notifications to supervisors or even employees. If you, at the end of the pay period, you want employees to make sure to submit their timesheets, the system can do that. We can also have the system notify supervisors and say, hey, you have pending requests, payroll is due in a day, these need to be addressed. So this meeting here, it's really helpful and really just to help you as a manager save, use the system, use the notification features that we have. Also, I know that they're going to show you how to set up jobs to run behind the scenes. They're also going to show you how to schedule reports. And for example, if there's a report that you're often using, you run it every Monday or every 2 weeks, you can have it be scheduled through the system can deliver it to your inbox in PDF or Excel format, or if there's a report that you're distributing to someone else, you can have the system do that for you. So I encourage you to join the upcoming webinars. There's a lot of good information that's going to be presented. So all right, so just wanted to share that with you. I thank you for your time, for joining our session today. If you have any questions regarding the daily timesheet management, please contact our support team. They're there to assist you. You can email or call our team. Thank you everyone so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to having you in our future webinars. All right, everyone, happy Friday and have a great day. Take care, everyone.